Have you ever suddenly stumbled on a perfectly flat sidewalk and wondered why your own body completely betrayed you? When it comes to human balance, the physical decline does not happen overnight. It sneaks up on you in 7 highly specific stages. Most seniors logically believe that stage 7, the total and complete loss of mobility, is the most dangerous stage of all, but they are completely wrong. The level that actually causes the most catastrophic and fatal falls is level 4. I'm going to reveal exactly why level 4 is such a deceptive and terrifying trap at the very end of this video. Today, we are going to walk through the 7 levels of senior balance. I want you to listen closely and test yourself as we go, because knowing exactly which stage you are in right now could literally save your life. To understand why you are losing your balance, you must first understand the biological triad of stability. Your brain relies on 3 distinct systems working perfectly together to keep you upright against gravity. Number 1 is your vision. Number 2 is your vestibular system, which is the delicate fluid inside your inner ear. And number 3 is proprioception, the microscopic nerve endings in the bottom of your feet and your ankles that tell your brain exactly where the ground is without you ever having to look down. When you are young, these 3 systems work together in perfect harmony. But as you cross the age of 65, a severe biological degradation occurs. Clinical studies show that your proprioception, the actual physical feeling and spatial awareness in your feet, can drop by up to 40%. Your brain suddenly loses its raw connection to the floor. To stop you from falling over, your central nervous system starts forcing you to compensate. Let us look at how this dangerous compensation progresses. Starting with level 1. Level 1 is called the micro sway. At this stage, you feel perfectly healthy and completely confident on your feet during the day. You do not use a cane, and you walk at a normal pace. The only time you experience level 1 is when you accidentally remove one of the 3 pillars of your balance triad. For example, when you step into the shower and close your eyes to wash your hair, you might notice that your body suddenly begins to sway slightly back and forth. You have to open your eyes quickly or widen your stance to regain your center of gravity. This happens because your ankle sensors are beginning to dull. Without your eyes open to visually anchor you to the bathroom tiles, your brain panics for a fraction of a second. The microsway is the very first biological whisper that your proprioception is failing. Most seniors ignore this completely, thinking they just felt dizzy for a brief moment. But it is actually the beginning of the structural decline. This brings us to level 2, the visual dependent. At this stage, the nerve endings in your feet have degraded even further. Your brain has now subconsciously decided that it can no longer trust your ankles to keep you upright, so it shifts almost entirely to relying on your vision. You notice this stage the most at night. When you wake up at 2 in the morning to use the bathroom, you absolutely cannot walk in the dark anymore. Without the lights on, you feel completely disoriented and physically fragile. You might drag your feet slowly across the bedroom carpet because your brain literally does not know where the floor is without seeing it. You have become fully visually dependent. During the day, you might start looking down at your feet while you walk, scanning the sidewalk constantly for minor cracks or uneven pavement. You are no longer scanning the beautiful horizon. You are anxiously managing your immediate environment because your body requires constant visual confirmation just to take the next step. If the decline continues unmanaged, you reach level 3, the furniture surfer. This is where your subconscious mind actively intervenes to protect your bones. At level 3, your vision is no longer enough to compensate for the severe lack of sensation in your lower body. As you walk through your own home, you subconsciously reach out and gently touch the walls, the back of the dining room chairs, or the edge of the kitchen counter. You are not leaning heavily on these objects, and you are not using them to support your physical body weight. You are simply surfing them by lightly touching the solid furniture with your fingertips. You are creating a secondary line of physical communication to your brain. Your hands are desperately sending the spatial data that your feet are failing to provide. If you ask a senior at level 3 why they touch the walls, they usually do not even realize they are doing it. It is an automatic, biological survival mechanism designed to prevent a fall in an environment where they feel increasingly ungrounded. And that brings us to the tipping point. Level 4, the momentum walker. This is the exact stage I warned you about at the beginning of this video. It is the most deceptive and highly dangerous level of them all. At level 4, your balance has become so deeply compromised that standing on one leg, even for a fraction of a second during a normal walking stride, feels terrifying to your nervous system. To avoid spending any time balancing on one foot, your brain forces you to walk faster. You use forward momentum to carry your body weight. You pitch your chest slightly forward and you almost trot or hurry across the living room. You look like you are in a rush, and you might even feel confident because you are moving quickly, but you are essentially engaging in a continuous, controlled forward fall. You are using physical momentum to mask your severe instability. This is a fatal trap because you are moving too fast with zero actual stability. If your toe catches on a carpet edge or a thick power cord, you absolutely cannot stop. You have no muscular brakes and no balance to catch yourself. The momentum throws you violently to the ground, often resulting in shattered wrists and fractured hips. Level 4 is the ultimate biological illusion of capability. When you survive the momentum trap of level 4, you inevitably transition into level 5, the stiff knee shuffler. At this stage, genuine biological fear has permanently set in. Your nervous system has realized that forward momentum is too dangerous, so it employs a new defensive strategy. It physically locks your joints. Your brain forces your knees and your ankles to remain as stiff as possible to prevent any unpredictable wobbling. Because your joints are locked, you cannot lift your feet properly to clear the natural obstacles of the world. You begin to shuffle, sliding your shoe soles directly across the floor. Your feet barely leave the ground. Your calf muscles and your shins become incredibly tight and painful because they are constantly firing in the state of neurological panic, trying to hold your ankle bones perfectly rigid. While this shuffle feels safer to your brain, it is actually incredibly hazardous because your toes are hovering just a fraction of an inch above the floor. Any minor obstacle becomes a severe threat. A thick living room rug, a slight transition from hardwood to carpet, or a tiny uneven crack in the pavement is enough to catch your stiff foot and send you crashing down. You have sacrificed your natural, fluid walking motion for rigid stiffness. If this stiffness is not corrected, you degrade into level 6, the high-risk compensator. At this stage, your physical body is desperately crying out for the structural support of a cane or a walker. But your human ego often completely rejects the idea. You do not want to look or feel old, so you attempt to mask the severe instability. To do this, you develop a highly asymmetrical walking pattern. You might limp slightly, heavily favoring one strong leg while dragging the weaker one behind you. When you have to walk through an open parking lot or a wide grocery store aisle with absolutely nothing to hold on to, you experience a massive spike in cortisol, the stress hormone, because your brain feels entirely exposed and vulnerable to gravity. But the most dangerous hallmark of level 6 is the pivot hazard. Because your proprioception is almost completely gone, turning around too quickly becomes your biggest enemy. If someone calls your name and you try to spin your body to look at them, your feet cross over each other, your ankles fail to support the twisting motion, and you experience terrifying near falls on a weekly basis. You catch yourself at the very last second, your heart pounding in your chest, realizing just how close you came to a catastrophic hospital visit. Finally, we reach level 7, the fear paralysis. This is the ultimate collapse of your balance triad. At this final stage, the fear of falling has completely rewired your psychology. You have likely already suffered a painful fall, and the physical trauma of that event has paralyzed your confidence. your physical world shrinks dramatically. You no longer want to leave your house. You eventually stop wanting to leave your living room armchair or your bed. You recognize that you need a mechanical walker or a human caregiver 100% of the time just to move across the room safely. Your leg muscles, completely deprived of daily use, begin to atrophy and wither away rapidly. The lack of movement accelerates your aging process across your entire body, weakening your heart, your lungs, and your bones. Level 7 is not just the loss of balance. It is the total loss of your physical independence. This timeline of degradation sounds terrifying. And earlier, I promised to explain exactly why Level 4 was the ultimate trap. Level 4, the momentum walker, is the specific stage where your brain permanently gives up on trying to fix your balance and decides to just use speed to hide the problem. It is the exact point of no return if left untreated. But here is the monumental biological truth that changes absolutely everything. Balance is not a genetic gift that simply vanishes with age. Balance is a highly trainable neurological skill. Science proves that your brain possesses incredible neuroplasticity, meaning it can physically rewire itself at any age. Even if you are 80 years old and currently stuck in level 6, you can force your central nervous system to rebuild the microscopic nerve connections in your feet. The connection between your feet and your brain is like a muscle. If you stop challenging it, it shrinks. But the moment you start demanding stability, your body has no choice but to rebuild the neural pathways. By performing specific, controlled stability exercises that safely challenge your inner ear and your ankles, you can wake up your dead proprioceptors. You can actually reverse this timeline, moving from the high-risk compensator back to the perfectly stable microsway. You are not a victim of gravity. You simply need to retrain your biological software. I want you to be completely honest with yourself right now. As we walk through these 7 stages, which level did you recognize in your own daily life? Are you a level 3 furniture surfer, or have you already become a stiff knee shuffler? Please leave a comment below and share your current stage, because your honesty helps other seniors in our community realize they are not fighting this battle alone. If you are ready to stop falling and start rebuilding your stability, hit the subscribe button right now to join our mission. In our very next video, I'm going to show you the exact exercises to rewire your neuroplasticity safely at home. Please hit the like button so the algorithm shares this vital warning with other seniors. And I will see you in the next video.